Okay, hi, morning, Greg.
Good morning.
First of all, can you tell me what is somatic training? What is it actually?
The somatic training that I do is based on evolutionary growth, and that all living organisms are pulsing and growing in relationship to their experience. And in that process, they are transforming themselves, and it's a very experiential activity. But also in this process, they are encountering challenges to their growth, and they encounter then in themselves reactions, survival drives. And these two activities, the growth of becoming and the containment of the survival drives, set up a particular type of tension or dialogue in the body, which we're mostly by instinct and by social instruction, we're taught to avoid it, to disregard it. However, the inherited reaction drive is the greatest gift and teacher that we're given. That if you enter into a relationship with a reaction drive, it helps to shape a deeper and more vital presence in the body. And that continues throughout the entire course of life, that we are always pulsing and transforming, or potentially transforming and changing.
So how does one learn this? What do you actually teach? Do you teach techniques to do this?
What I teach is a very basic technique of becoming literally aware of how you are here. Literally, how am I sitting here? And the asking is, how am I breathing? How am I compressing my body? And as I compress my body as we talk, what kind of information is it giving me? And so that's the beginning. It's like the interference with how you're present. And then that allows you to register, oh, I've got more compression than I need, or I haven't got enough compression. So then begins the first step of the exercise, which is, how am I doing this? And then neuromuscularly, what if I do it more in a small movement? And when I do it more in a small movement, I invoke another layer of neuromuscular experience. And then that gives me information. And then I do it again, and I do it again. The effect of it, what I say sometimes is make it worse first. And the effect of that is that it wakes you up more to what you are doing, but it also tells the brain that this is not being done to you, that this is something that you're doing to yourself, even though you do it very quickly. A reaction moves at 400 feet per second. It's very quick. So once I know that I'm doing it and how I do it, well, then the brain can say, oh, well, this is then how we undo the posture. And as you undo the posture, you're taking the surface layers of the containment of experience, you're taking them apart. And then deeper layers of tissue in the body have their own response, and they bring their own response into how you're present. So in the process, the basic activity is to do it more, do it more, do it more in micro movements, because this is a very powerful exercise, even though it's simple. Then do it less, wait, do it less and wait. In the waiting, you're waiting to receive your deeper body. When you undo a layer of the container, the next layer comes up to talk to you. And so that what you're doing is that you're dialoguing with how you're managing being present. And as you're doing that, the body is figuring out, how much boundary do I need in relationship? How much space can I tolerate? And it goes back and forth. Is this too much? Is this too little? and it goes back and forth. And then at a certain point of doing this, it reaches a point where it goes like, oh, here, I'm present. I might be uncomfortable or I might be comfortable, but it doesn't matter. Because I can feel a depth of how I'm here sitting with you. And at the same time, I can feel more of your depth. And then I'm in a more stable place. And then from there, I can start all over again. So that's the basic exercise. The final step would be when I reach this deeper understanding of myself through my exchange with you, then for me it would be like, well, how am I going to go into the kitchen, say, and exercise that body? So if I get breakfast, how am I going to get breakfast with that body so that it doesn't just go away? So that I work it like an exercise program and it stays with me eventually. And eventually it grows right into my neuromuscular system and then it's mine. I don't have to think about it.
How do you feel this is a gift to someone, to a person?
Well, what I have found in my own life and in my practice, particularly with clients that I've worked with for a long period of time, but I'll say for myself, that I find myself being challenged or feeling like I'm threatened. And I find that my body then starts to go to an old familiar reaction. And then, without my willing it, because it's learned something right in the experiential body, it shifts its posture and it comes present from a deeper place. And in this place then, I have a whole range of choice that I didn't have before when I was in reaction. And so the effect of this has been, both for me and my clients, is a deepening of vitality and responsiveness in the world, and an ability to take in more and more people in more and more situations and feel less threatened. And then to let those people or those situations wake them up. Oh, here's something new. How can I go deeper and learn from this experience, whether it's good or bad? And so that the body moves much more quickly from a two-dimensional reactive state. I either have to attack you or I have to run away, to, oh, how can I taste this? How can I let this grow me? Because in this posture of being present, then the growth drive and the transformation is possible. You're not shutting that down. Sorry, please.
I have one more question. So once we learn these skills, will it be like program and automatic, or is it an awareness which you have to practice at each moment?
I often say to people, this work is front-end heavy, that where you're using a lot of willpower to digest the process. You never fix your reactive drive, but it will change certain patterns of overreactive behavior. And it also, when you have a very powerful reaction, you'll find that your body comes back into a present shape much more quickly. So some behaviors will disappear, but the very basic patterns that you inherited, they will be with you till the very end in your biology. And they are the gift. Like we have been educated to think, oh, I need to fix this. This is an illness. But they are the gift, because most of us wake up in a state of alarm. And that's the reactive system. And if you're not afraid of waking up in a state of alarm, then you become curious. Oh, what is this? And you can be walking down the street and somebody can surprise you, and you've got a tool right there while you're talking to them. You don't have to tell them anything. Right while you're talking to them, you'd be going, oh, am I too hot, too cold? What do I need to do here? Do I need to end the conversation? I've had amazing arguments with people where just by changing my body posture in relationship to the argument, they've changed their behavior, and I haven't said anything to them. But because I changed my behavior.
So we've always only known that of awareness of mind and thought. So now when you're talking about how the body itself, we can use the body itself to make a change or to bring an awareness to the situation.
I think that's important because I think that there is an illusion that feeling and thought shape our body. But the body recoils neuromuscularly, and that makes feeling and thought. All that happens on the surface is this spark of surprise, and then the body recoils, and then it shapes your emotion and your thought process. If you get into that dynamic experience and change your posture, it's impossible to hold on to the same thought and the same feeling. It's just not possible. You'd have to go back into the body. So you get then to reshape yourself from a deeper level which has more longevity and more stability. And then you discipline your mind and you discipline your feelings, and that's the appropriate thing, rather than having them lead you around by the nose.